We just witnessed something special. The Toronto Blue Jays fall in their spring training game to the Pittsburgh Pirates, but what we saw in this game is huge for the Toronto Blue Jays' future, and it was a special moment. We're going to break that down and discuss what it means going forward, as well as a few other key takeaways from this game, as well as some other updates as it pertains to spring training. But before we get into it, folks, quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. If you're part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Your guys' support has been absolutely unbelievable, and thank you for your continued support as we're on the road now to 17,000 subscribers. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there is a lot to go over today. Now, obviously, we've been talking a lot on the channel about the prospects that have been playing well. We saw some things today from those prospects. And we've also been talking about Kevin Gausman making his spring debut, and he did so in this afternoon's game, and it ended up being a late one because the game was delayed due to rain. Ladies and gentlemen, let's dive right into it, and there's a lot of different things, and we're going to start now. Kevin Gausman pitched fantastic. There's no doubt about it. I want to start with the highlight of the day, the highlight of the spring training so far for me, and that is Arjun Namala. And I'm going to have tons of videos coming out before the season starts about, the prospect pool and all these different things for the Jays. And Arjun Namala has been rising up and has turned into the Jays' number one prospect in a lot of these rankings. And we saw 30 minutes ago something special. Big swing for 19-year-old Arjun Namala, who just homered off Pirates reliever Joey Wentz here in Bradenton. Ladies and gentlemen, we saw 19-year-old Arjun Namala not only hit a home run, but hit a no-doubt absolute missile. He is the future shortstop of the Toronto Blue Jays, and he showed that tonight. Sneak peek to Alan Roden's home run, which we'll get into a little bit later. But man, oh man, you see the bat flip from the kid. I mean, it was a no-doubter, and this is special. Not only for the Jays' future and all those different things, but even just for him to have a moment like that at 19 years of age in spring training it pays huge dividends. And this is what spring training is for. It's for, of course, the actual regulars to get acclimated, to play, get their reps in, start to feel out your teammates, feel out, especially for the pitchers, get their arms going, all these different things. But when you're looking at it from the prospect's point of view, this is a fantastic time to really just either shine or continue to develop your game. And for Arjun Namala, a 19-year-old who is not going to be ready for, a while, a couple of years at least until he's an MLB player, to come out at 19 against the Pirates and hit a no-doubt missile out of the ballpark is special. It's absolutely special, and it's going to pay huge dividends for him going forward as it pertains to his confidence, right? That's the biggest thing here, and you can look at some of the box scores from today's game. Again, it was a lot of regulars were finally back. The Jays are finally back on TV, and we saw Vladdy, we saw Santander, who got a hit and an RBI as well, and we'll get an Alejandro Kirk later as well. There's a ton of takeaways from this game. You can see there at the bottom who went in for Leo Jimenez at shortstop, 1 at bat, 1 hit. It was a 2-run home run, and it made everyone electric. All Jays fans are electric. I've been following him for a while. A lot of Jays fans have been. His OPS this spring now was up to 2,000, albeit in a very small sample size. He did start one other game. I believe it was against the Yankees and Garrett Cole. But I'm just excited. And let me know down below how I felt so happy for Arjun Namala. Hopefully this pays, a big factor into his future, and just seeing Arjun Namala continue to develop, continue to grow into a player and hit a home run in front of a lot of big league players, in front of your coaches, is absolutely fantastic. You see this here about Arjun Namala. He's going to play the entire year at 19 years old after mashing in the Florida State League as an 18-year-old, following coming back up last year. Most exciting position player prospect the Jays have had since Gabriel Moreno, at least, and probably since Bo in terms of offensive upside. Man, I cannot wait to see how Namala does this year. That was absolutely crushed. And he has jumped the prospect pool a lot from, being in the middling late 10s to top 10 prospect to, in a lot of rankings, the number one prospect in the Toronto Blue Jays system, whether that be MLB Pipeline, whether that be a lot of the other ones. He is the number one prospect, and you can see why. His upside is incredible. He is a fantastic player, and to see him do that I was super hyped up for him. But speaking of being hyped up, we're going to talk about Kevin Gausman here momentarily. Alan Roden and Alejandro Kirk. Now, I have Alan Roden's home run here to show you as well. For a guy who was hitting 375, his OPS in spring now has moved up to over 1,300, might be approaching 1,400. Alan Roden continues to mash, and as you start to look at what possible way they're going to be able to factor Alan Roden into the lineup, players are going, Davis, Schneider, all these different players' jobs are on the line at this point, because even Joey Loperfido, to a degree, I don't think, again, Joey's probably going to start the season with the Toronto Blue Jays. He's having a quiet, good spring as well, an 891 OPS. But Alan Roden's OPS is now 1643, which is unbelievable. Now, of course, in that game, that was a very impressive game to say the least from Alan Roden. I mean, he only hit the ball, one at bat home run. He has been crushing it. Keegan Matheson came in my video and said there's a good chance that he probably starts the season in AAA and then continues to grow from there. He's going to absolutely mash if he starts in AAA. There's no doubt about it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. The question is, how can he factor into the lineup? He is an outfielder. The Jays have a ton of outfielders, whether that be Nathan Lucas, whether that be Alan Roden, whether that be a ton of other guys as well who can play the outfield. And if Dalton Varsho can manage to get healthy this upcoming season for opening day, then that opens up a spot for Alan Roden to maybe sneak in. But a fantastic game from Alan Roden. We also saw, and we'll have more videos coming out in Roden, we also saw Alejandro Kirk go out and hit an absolute missile. I think StatCast was broken on it, so we don't actually get to see the numbers, but one of the hardest hit balls he's hit in a long time for a guy who's coming off of a 5 home run season total. To see that is great. His spring training OPS is approaching 1,000. If Alejandro Kirk, and we've been saying on the channel a lot, if Kirky can hit the ball the way that we know he did in 2022, if you have some upside plays from Bo Bichette, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. continuing to play well, even Dalton Varsho getting on to go with the bat, this team has the potential and has the upside. And for a lot of their prospects, they're starting to play well as well. We saw Damiano Palmigiani have a hit as well tonight. Like, it was absolutely incredible. Now, on the pitching side, Kevin Gausman looked absolutely dominant. That was going to be the headliner of the video. And, the talking point of the day was Kevin Gausman made his debut. But the problem is, Alan Roden hit a home run. Kirk hit a home run. And, of course, Arjun Amala hit the bomb. But as it pertains to Kevin Gausman, very encouraging first inning of work. The stuff looked great, particularly his fastball velo. Noticeable jump from last season, dialing up to 96.2. For reference, Gausman hit 96 just 25 times across the first month of 2024. And seeing Kevin Gausman look healthy, hitting his velocity numbers, because like we've been talking on the channel a lot, most of what matters in spring training is not the results, but the actual numbers that come from it in terms of velocity and stuff like that for players. Him being able to, he averaged 95.6 velo, he hit 96, like, he looked fantastic. And again, his stat line, I mean, I agree with it. 2 strikeouts, a little bit of control issues in the first inning there, a little bit of walk, 1 2/3 innings. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Gausman is back, and it's about as good of a spring training debut as you could have asked for Kevin Gausman. Velo and command both look strong in his debut. Also used his revamped slider a fair bit, throwing it much harder and with a bit more H movement. It's now a slider-cutter hybrid, dare I say. I'm not going to say that word, but it's a very interesting one. And he has this new pitch. He feels rejuvenated. The Jays had a ton of down years as it pertains to the pitching staff. Chris Bassett said it was the worst year of his career, arguably. Kevin Gausman said it was one of the worst years of his career as it pertains to how they felt on the mound. If you can have bounce backs from your starting pitchers, you pair that with some young guys playing well. Alan Roden maybe factoring into the mix. You add Anthony Santander. The upside is there. The players just actually have to go out and compete and do it. And Kevin Gausman felt great coming off of his first spring in 2025 where he hit 96. Last spring, I think it was a lot harder to get to, I think he meant to say 96, especially those first couple of weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, Arjun Amala hit a bomb. We saw Alan Roden hit a bomb. We saw Kevin Gausman's debut. It was special to witness, and this is just the beginning for not only the Jays season, but their young prospects that are going to be coming up. That'll wrap it up. Cheers.